Just another girl at the Artistic Gymnastics Academy. Part 6. He returned to his place next to me, we shook hands, he came a little closer, and without much thought, I kissed him. It wasn't a big kiss, we were just some children almost 8 years old, but it was a little bird kiss. We parted for a moment and with emotion, I gave him another one just like it. So my first kiss, against all odds, was wearing a beautiful white wedding dress and with my friend Carlos. After that, we hugged for a moment until the alarm clock that I had set for 5:30 rang to know that it was time to be Mario again. The next day, the sun was still radiant, and it seemed like the perfect day to go out and play. I arrived not sure what to do, because as usual, at the time of saying goodbye, we could not agree on anything more than, "See you tomorrow." I had a little crush on Carlos after the wedding and the kiss the day before, but I didn't dare say anything without knowing what he was thinking. I ate and went to my sister's room to find what to wear. I was choosing when Carlos arrived. I ran to open it. Since I was still dressed as a boy, I didn't feel comfortable giving him a kiss or anything. I just let him pass and he showed me what he had for today. A strapless spring dress that left the shoulders bare and flat sandals. It was very nice, but I saw it with a little disappointment. You do not like it? Yes, it's very nice, only yesterday I had a lot of fun. I also. He said. Next time it's your turn to be the groom. With that, it was clear that Carlos could not be my boyfriend, not even in a game. He was as much a girl as I was. But it was also clear that I could count on my girlfriend Sandy. After all, what happened the day before was just a little crush, which had made me doubt, but I knew I didn't like boys. That day, however, was special. We went to change. Sandy put on the strapless dress she had brought with sandals and I put on a red plaid pleated mini skirt that came a little above the knee, and a short-sleeved t-shirt with ruffles on the shoulders, some white socks with ruffles, and my white tennis shoes. We were at home for a while watching cartoons until a commercial for Cheetos came out. Ouch. I was craving some Cheetos. Sandy said. Me too. Let's go for some? I bring money. Sandy said. No, I'm too lazy. We would have to change Anne, seeing my outfit, I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to either. We continue watching TV, and in the next break to commercials, again the Cheetos commercial. It's just, why do they put the ad just when I'm hungry? Sandy said. Ha ha ha. Always happens. And if we go like this? I looked at her with a combination of fear and excitement. You dare? Well, who could see us? My mom and yours are working. Yes, but I don't know, a neighbor or the administrators? No one is going to recognize you, she told me. Do you think someone notices me? She stood up and moved her dress. No, nobody who doesn't know us. So, let's go. Nervous and excited, I stood up and went to my sister's room. Well, but, come here. There I put on a headband, which since the day before had become my favorite accessory, and a bit of lip gloss. Sandy asked me if there was one for her. We looked for one to match her dress, and after a couple of minutes of looking in the mirror to make sure everything was in place, we headed out. Our first time outside. Well, I went out that afternoon with the leotard, but 2 years had passed and this time I was much more aware of what I was doing. Above all, I already understood that I liked to dress like that and that if they saw me, I could have serious problems. But the feeling was worth it. We were super nervous and excited. We didn't even make an effort to walk like girls or look normal. We were turning around and looking at the faces of the people who passed by to see if they recognized us. No one seemed to notice anything in us other than 2 girls giggling and playing. We hadn't walked more than 150 yards when our nerves got the better of us and we started running towards the commercial area that was inside the complex of buildings, but a little more than 2 blocks away. Now that I look back and think about it, with the clothes and shoes we were wearing, we definitely couldn't run in any other way than as girls. We ran into the commercial area, which only consisted of a couple of boutiques, a Circle K, a stationery store, and a grocery store. There were also the administration offices of the complex, so as we ran down the corridor, a security guard stood in front of us and caught our attention. Girls. We immediately, scared to death. An employee of the administration approached when he saw that the security guard called our attention. No running, said the security guard. At the same time he turned to see the administrator. We don't want such pretty girls to fall or tear their clothes. Turning to see the administrator. Right, boss? Of course, he said. What explanation would I give to their mothers if something happened to their girls? He approached us, took out some popsicles from his pocket, and gave them to us. Take a popsicle, but don't eat it without asking permission at home. Yes, thanks. I said with the most feminine smile and gesture I could. They kept walking without giving any sign that they doubted us. That calmed us down a lot. We entered Circle K, we went for the Cheetos, and since we were there, we bought a couple of chocolates and some juices. No one at Circle K suspected anything. We left and I expected to go directly to my apartment, but Carlos pulled me to the right, in the direction of another playground that, not being the closest to our building, was not the one we normally went to. But the playground was the same as the one we normally went, it had everything. We arrived and there were other boys and girls playing, some smaller ones accompanied by their mothers and some older ones. We hesitated for a moment and stayed on the edge of the garden trying to identify if there was someone who knew us. An unknown girl approached us and told Sandy, "What a pretty dress. I have a similar one, but my mom won't let me wear it without a blouse underneath." Sandy smiled proudly. "Thank you. Aren't you going to play?" We hesitated for a moment and the girl returned to the slide. We just followed her. Going up the stairs I realized that I had to take care that they couldn't see under my skirt. The feeling of sitting and seeing my skirt, and my legs just fascinated me. But I was nervous. Sandy was with me all the time and that made me feel safer. We spent the afternoon there, we swung, we ran, we did the same things we would have done as boys, but for some reason, being dressed and seen as girls made us enjoy it that much more. When we get tired, we sit on a bench to eat the Cheetos and share it with the girl who approached us at the beginning. We didn't even know her name, but after a few minutes, her mom called her. "Anna, it's about time, you still have to finish your homework." "Oh, I have to go now, but are you coming tomorrow to continue playing?" Sandy and I stared at each other for a moment. "Yes, I think," I said. "Yes, yes." Sandy said excitedly, "See you here tomorrow." We walked back to my apartment without any worries. We were still aware of being dressed as girls, but we were no longer worried about someone seeing us. We were very happy and had enough time to change. "So tomorrow we come?" I asked Sandy. "Well, yes, right? This girl is very cool." "Yes. What is her name?" "No idea." "Ha ha ha, tomorrow we ask her." "Hey, and nobody suspected anything, right?" I asked her. "No one. Didn't you hear that when the boy started running with us his mom told him to be careful with the girls?" "Seriously?" I didn't hear her. We got home shortly after 5:30, put my sister's clothes in the closet and her sister's under my bed, and we waited for my mom doing homework like good boys. From that day, our routine changed. We no longer wait for it to rain to get dressed. We arrived, changed, and spent the afternoon like Valerie and Sandy with Anna, and little by little we got to know other girls and boys. December vacations arrived and I went with my dad, this time to Las Vegas and then to ski in Park City. As usual, the vacations with him and my brother were always excellent, but this time two things happened that made them better. We arrived in Las Vegas on December 30th. We were in the RV, but those nights we stayed at the Excalibur, just for the pleasure of being in one of the big hotels in that city. The night of the 31st, we walked along Las Vegas Boulevard, seeing the hotels, each one with its theme, the shops, and looking for a good spot to see the New Year's fireworks, as the wind was very cold. My dad bought us some large glasses of hot chocolate to keep warm and told us to drink it hot and be careful, but what can I say? I was 8 years old and I was seeing the buildings and the lights of the city, so obviously, I let it cool down and in a distraction, I collided with a man who was passing by and he threw all the chocolate on me. My sweater, my t-shirt, and my pants were soaked and stained with chocolate. My dad saw me, and I don't know how he controlled himself, but he just said, "Oh my boy. But I did tell you to be careful. Didn't you get burned?" I answered no. "Now what we are gonna do?" He asked more for himself than for us. My brother offered to take me back to the hotel to change, but it was already after 10 p.m. and the street was already full of people. "No, thanks, but with this crowd, you would never get there and it would even be dangerous." "Don't worry," I told him, "I'll stay like this and change when we get back." "No, right now you don't feel it, but it's 28 degrees and with wet clothes in this wind, you're going to get sick. Come on, let's go find anything you can wear so you can get out of those wet clothes and not get sick." We entered the Paris Hotel, which was the closest to finding where to buy something. The clothing stores were closed, so we entered the hotel's souvenir shop. There, my dad took a quick look and grabbed some Vegas print leggings that came with a tank top and a wide-neck white hoodie that said Paris and had the Eiffel Tower on it. "Is this okay with you?" he asked. At home I had learned that I had to hide my interest in feminine things, so the situation caused me a lot of insecurity. A little scared and not wanting to show any interest, I asked him, "This? Do you want me to wear this? I don't see any other options. Do you?" In fact, there weren't many options for boys, they only had printed t-shirts, but no pants. My dad showed me a black printed boys sweatshirt. "There's also this one, but it doesn't have a cap and, if you're going to wear this," showing me the leggings, "I think this one matches better, don't you think?" Yes, I said. Still insecure. But don't worry, those things don't matter to me, the important thing is that you are happy and don't get sick. We left the store, he gave me my clothes and told me to go to the bathroom to change. When I got to the door I was wondering which one to enter. My dad knocked on the door in the women's bathroom, leaned in to make sure no one was there, and opened the door. Change and put the dirty clothes in the bag. Already in the bathroom, I took a moment to see what my dad had bought me. Until then, I had worn my sister's skirts, dresses, and even some jeans, but I had never worn leggings. I put them on and since my underwear was for a boy, I had to dedicate time to it, first to prevent it from balling up under the leggings and then, I couldn't help it, to hide the bulge that always got in my way. Then I put on the tank top and the hoodie. I went out, I saw myself in the mirror and I was adjusting my hair when a young and slightly drunk lady came in and when she saw me she said, "Hello cutie. Can I help you comb your hair?" She didn't even give me time to answer her when she was already combing my hair. In half a minute she had brushed me and said, "Let me see." She adjusted my hoodie so that one of my shoulders could be seen with the strap of my shirt and said, "You're ready. Happy New Year, beauty." So I left the bathroom, a little nervous about the reaction of my father and my brother. My dad no doubt noticed that I had hidden my bulge, but his only comment was, "Did you see? It fit you perfectly." And my brother said, "Wow. Is it really you?" I just smiled shyly without wanting to make especially feminine gestures. My dad took me by the hand and said, "Let's find where to see the fireworks." That night, after the countdown, the hugs and good wishes, we saw the fountain show and we went back to the hotel so that my brother and I could sleep. My dad went down to the casino for a while and a few hours later I heard him enter the room. Next day before leaving I asked my dad what to do with those clothes. He just told me to keep them with my things in case they were useful or I wanted to use them later. The other event started when we arrived in Salt Lake City, a beautiful city. By the way, we already had reservations for the lift from the next day in Park City, and for my brother and me, the beginner's class first thing in the morning. What we didn't have was ski suits, so we went to Kmart. To our surprise, there was very little variety. In boys, we only found one navy blue with yellow lines size 14 even though my brother was always tall for his age. It was too big for him, but for $25, that one was taken. For me, no, there was nothing. We went to Walmart and the same thing happened. There my dad also started looking in the girls department, but everything was super feminine and he didn't suggest anything to me. We kept looking. In a specialized store there were great suits, but they cost $200, so those were discarded. Finally, at the third Walmart, my dad found a not-so-girly one. The jumpsuit was gray with just a few pink lines from the knee down and the jacket was gray with a horizontal pink line running across the chest to the bottom of the sleeves. The suit screamed girl, but at least it didn't have little flowers or butterflies. It was my size and it was on sale for $20, so my dad told me it was only for those days in the mountains and if I didn't mind, he preferred to buy that one than paying $25 rent a day for a used one. I just told him I didn't mind. On the mountain, already with everything on, I suppose that for the instructors, the only way to distinguish if you are a boy or a girl is by the colors of the suit. So from the first moment, he assumed that I was a girl and when he asked my name, I didn't dare to say, Valerie, because my brother was there, but I said Marianne and that's how he addressed me during the 2-hour course. Skiing was one of the most fun things I've ever done, and during those days, on the mountain, my brother not only addressed me as Marianne but dedicated himself to taking care of me and protecting me like never before. At that time I did not understand all those coincidences with my father, but a few years later I would understand them. The fact is that the vacations were excellent and without saying anything, my father and my brother made me feel an acceptance that I had not felt for years. If you like it, please like and subscribe. See you next week. Valeria Garza.